The long-awaited special crime session has begun at Louisiana's capital. The agenda lists 24 pieces of potential legislation that will transform the state's criminal justice system. Though the session is only in its first week, lawmakers are moving quickly. On Tuesday, 15 bills were heard in committee, and on Wednesday, all 10 bills heard in committee passed. Here's a brief wrap-up of this week.
Members, I'd like you all to welcome the Governor, Jeff Landry.
Jeff Landry began the much-anticipated special crime session with a call to action, asking lawmakers to rally together to reduce crime in the state of Louisiana, aligning with campaign promises he'd made a year ago.
I would do everything within my power to improve the safety of our communities through both legislative and executive action. Today, we continue that process.
The agenda for Landry's session lays out 24 items aimed at addressing youth criminal activities, carjackings, and parole eligibility, among other things. Each item is a stark contrast to the previous administration's crime-fighting efforts, which prioritized reduced sentences, incarceration alternatives, and reentry programs.
I warned that the goal of the criminal justice reform should not be about letting people out of jail. It should be about how to keep people from going to jail. And those warnings went unheeded.
Among one of the most controversial bills on the call order, a proposal to try 17-year-olds accused of violent crime in adult court, an item highly prioritized by the governor.
You know, the former administration's criminal justice reinvestment lowered the age of 17-year-olds charged with a violent crime. But by lowering the age, it has resulted in actual incidents of older criminals recruiting 17-year-olds for criminal activity, knowing that the consequences to them would be minimal. It has fast-tracked too many of our teenagers into a life of crime, and the effect has been catastrophic. These juveniles are not innocent children. They are hardened criminals.
Among the many GOP supporters of the bill were families of victims, including Kathy Richard and Jenny Lynn Griffin, who lost their sister during a juvenile carjacking in 2022.
I'm leaving the session today with a positive outlook. I feel that we're going to have some changes. I think it's good changes. I think juveniles need to be held accountable. Parents need to be held accountable.
While most lawmakers were in favor of the item list, many others, mostly Democrats, were opposed.
Representative Willard, why do you rise?
I object.
Representative Willard objects to the rule suspensions by Representative Butler.
When the House voted in favor of rule suspension, a mechanism to speed up the legislative process, the House Democratic Caucus objected. In a press conference, the House Democratic Party leader, Representative Matthew Willard, says stricter policy and longer sentencing won't prevent juveniles from committing crimes.
The call for this special session does not allow us to truly address crime in a holistic approach that the people of Louisiana need and deserve. The governor talked about the victims of crime, yet every proposal that his team has put forward is reactive.
He went on to say that the Democratic caucus had no input on any of the bills filed.
Due to the way that this special session was called, we cannot address the root causes of crime. My fear, our fear, is that we will spend time up here and take action that will not lead to safer communities in the state of Louisiana.
Despite calls for more debate, the legislative process is moving quickly. Lawmakers have until March 6th to reform Louisiana's criminal justice system.